It's the Rav the Rebbe to make a סיום every day from Rosh Chodesh Mנחem until 15 B'Ov. We have the honor today to have a Choshev German in our community. Rav Achosid, Rav Slאפוטשניק is going to make a סיום מסכת ביצה. Everybody has to say, everybody should give tzedakah. This is part of this. Rav Slאפוטשניק, b'vakasha.
So the last parak of Gemara Be'ah speaks a lot about, the parak before as well speaks a lot about the idea of tchumen, and it's a very interesting phenomenon where when you own something on Yom Tiv, so you're allowed to carry it because it's Yom Tiv, but since it's Tchum Shabbos 2,000 amas, you're only allowed to carry it as far as Tchum Shabbos. So what happens is, if, for example, you want to make an Erev, you're only allowed to walk 2,000 amas, but you want to go to a Shir which is 4,000 amas away. So you make an Erev, you send some food to 2,000 amas away from your city, and then you're allowed to walk to your Erev 2,000 amas and another 2,000 amas. It gets complicated when two people own, let's say, the same thing. Let's say they have a animal or something to use b'shutfus. If one makes an Erev 2,000 amas to the right side of the city and one makes an Erev 2,000 amas to the left side of the city, they cannot carry it whatsoever. So we go into interesting discussion about the wells that the Oilei Bavel dug. So we know that by Aliyah L'Regel, everyone came to the Beis HaMikdash, and there were a lot of people. There wasn't enough water, so there were people who did Tzarchei Tzibur. They built wells for all the people. So the Gemara has a shaila: what are these wells? Are they hefker? And therefore, anyone that takes water from the wells is able to take that water 2,000 amas from wherever he's allowed to go, or is everyone considered shutfim in this well? And then it gets more complicated, because what if I fill up the water and then I give it to you? Am I allowed to carry the water 2,000 amas from where I filled it up, or do we say that's 2,000 amas from the person who I gave it to? So a lot of interesting things like till we finally reach a story at the end of the Gemara, interesting story where it says that if before you shecht an animal, you're supposed to give it water. So you might think that the Mishnah is saying that it's such a nice thing. The animal's about to die, so you give it water. Says no, very simple. It's just the Eitzah Teiva Kamashmalan that if you shecht the animal without giving it water, the skin is going to get very stuck to the body. You're not going to be able to use the skin properly, so therefore you have to make sure to to give it water. Therefore you can take off the skin. The Gemara ends off discussing what's considered an animal which is muktzah, not muktzah, because if you have an animal which is midbarius, it's an animal which is not domesticated, it's not in your rishus, so you leave it for half of the year to roam wild, and then it comes back to you. Such an animal might be muktzah. We have a discussion what that means, and then the Gemara says that we seem to have a stira where Rebbe seems to hold of muktzah, and we know there's a famous discussion of Reb Shimon. He doesn't hold the muktzah. Is there muktzah? So we have three answers: whether Rebbe holds like Reb Shimon, whether there's actually no contradiction between the two cases, and the final thing is that no, he actually holds like Reb Shimon, but he wanted to give a whole answer just for the Rabbanan. The Rabbanan that don't hold the muktzah, he's saying he gave a whole answer for them as well. So I'll read it inside. That he gave an answer to the Gabi these midbariyas that if you let them out of the city from Pesach till Cheshvan, so then they're considered to be midbariyas because they're out of the city. But l'chayr, he doesn't even hold the muktzah. So why do you think of this answer? He says l'Rabbanan kamer l'didi ein muktzah. I don't hold the muktzah. Al l'zchu oid l'mihas heichad l'yoytzas rice with Pesach v'nichnases b'revir rishayna, which is Cheshvan. The Baisin ba'amar l'Rabbanan loy midbariyas, saying that he still holds the Rabbanan did not take his answer and say that still these are considered muktzah. And unlike many other Gemaras, we're not ending off with any interesting story or I'm sure there are. I'm sure there's many things we can learn from here, but it ends up being just a very very straightforward machlekes of whether it's muktzah or not. Hadran Allah Mashil and Paris Sliga Mesechas Be'ah.